Welcome to Chapter 2, where we explore pedagogy and its practical application in the classroom. Pedagogy is both the art and science of teaching. It encompasses how educators plan learning experiences, choose strategies, interact with children, design learning environments, and assess understanding to support holistic growth. It is not merely about what is taught, but how learning is intentionally shaped. The term pedagogy originates from the Greek words padid, child, and agogos, to lead or guide. Historically, a pedagogos was a guide who accompanied children, supporting their moral, social, and intellectual development. Studying pedagogy is essential because it helps educators understand how children learn, design developmentally appropriate experiences, make ethical and informed classroom decisions, and transform teaching from rote instruction into meaningful, responsive learning. In early childhood education, pedagogy holds particular importance because it shapes children's earliest encounters with learning, relationships, and institutional structures. Historically, education emphasized rote learning, strict discipline, and obedience, treating children as passive recipients. But modern educational psychology and developmental science later reframe them as active learners with cognitive, emotional, and developmental needs, forming the foundation of modern pedagogy. This intellectual shift gave rise to learning theories grounded in empirical observation and experimentation, marking the beginning of modern pedagogy. Let us explore Russian physiologist Ivan Pavlov showed through classical conditioning that learning occurs by association. In classrooms, this appears as predictable routines, consistent cues, calm transitions, and emotionally positive environments that help learners associate learning with safety and motivation, demonstrating how environment and emotion shape behavior.
Edward L. Thorndike explained learning as trial and error strengthened by success. This led to drill and practice, repeated skill activities, readiness-based instruction, structured feedback, and mastery learning, showing that successful responses are reinforced and retained. Similarly, B.F. Skinner's work on operant conditioning established that behavior is shaped by its consequences, a principle reflected in classroom practices such as praise, rewards, behavior charts, grades, behavior management systems, and programmed instruction, all reinforcing the idea that rewarded behaviors are more likely to recur. Köhler introduced insight learning, emphasizing sudden understanding rather than conditioning. This supports problem-solving tasks, visual models, hands-on materials, and conceptual teaching that helps learners perceive meaningful relationships rather than memorize isolated facts. Together, these theories marked a crucial transition from viewing learning as mechanical behavior change to recognizing the role of perception, cognition, and understanding. Imagine two classrooms teaching the same concept in mathematics. In one, a teacher delivers a lecture while children sit passively. In the other, children explore numbers through blocks, games, and conversation. Here lies the magic, the difference in learning outcomes that reveals the essence of current pedagogical approaches. How children learn matters as much as what they learn. Let us examine a few examples to critically illustrate pedagogical principles. So let's understand emergent curriculum through play-based learning. In a preschool classroom, an educator notices 4-year-old children repeatedly building roads and bridges with blocks. Guided by constructivist and play-based pedagogy, she extends the curriculum from this interest rather than imposing a preset plan. She introduces photographs of local bridges, toy vehicles, measuring tapes, and simple maps, and invites discussion about travel in the community. Instead of directing answers, she asks open-ended questions such as, how will your bridge stay strong? And what happens if many vehicles cross at once? Thus, through observation and responsive interaction, she supports problem-solving, early mathematical thinking, language development, and collaboration, allowing learning to emerge naturally through play. Next, let's explore supporting social-emotional development through guided interaction. So during free play, two children argue over a popular puzzle. Rather than enforcing punishment or offering an immediate solution, the educator applies socio-emotional and developmental pedagogy. She kneels to the children's level, acknowledges their emotions, and helps them express their perspectives. Through guided dialogue, she models respectful communication and encourages them to suggest solutions such as taking turns or working together. This ethical approach prioritizes emotional regulation, empathy, and cooperation, transforming conflict into a meaningful learning experience. Let's delve into the next example: differentiated learning within a group activity. In an early literacy unit, the educator reads a picture book to a mixed ability group of 5-year-olds. She differentiates instruction by encouraging some children to predict outcomes and analyze characters, while supporting others with visual cues, repetition, or individual prompts. This flexibility ensures meaningful participation for all learners, reflecting developmental theory in practice through inclusion, confidence building, and engagement. Now, let's explore inquiry-based learning in curriculum development. Let's consider a moment during a garden walk when the educator notices children becoming fascinated by insects hiding under leaves. Recognizing this curiosity, the educator develops an inquiry-based curriculum that includes observing insects with magnifying glasses, drawing and classifying them, reading simple informational texts, and documenting findings. By valuing children's questions and structuring learning around them, she nurtures scientific thinking, language skills, and environmental awareness. In conclusion, pedagogical theories come alive as ethical, developmentally appropriate practice when educators intentionally design learning environments while remaining deeply responsive to children's needs, emotions, and interests. It is in these thoughtful, caring moments that theory transforms into purpose. Classrooms become places of safety and belonging, and children are empowered not just to learn, but to grow, trust, and thrive.